A framework of 6 foundational figures is presented as pillars supporting the world. These figures signify a historical progression of divine authority. This progression culminates in the emergence of a 7th, ultimate figure. The structure illustrates a sequential development of supreme power. The Adamic covenant is a foundational concept within theological frameworks. It is intrinsically linked to Adam, the first human, and the Spirit of the Lord. This covenant signifies the commencement of life and humanity's existence. It establishes the initial mandate for humanity to exercise dominion over creation. The covenant outlines the original relationship and responsibilities between God and humankind. The Noahic covenant is a foundational biblical agreement established with Noah. This covenant is intrinsically linked to the concept of the Spirit of wisdom. The Spirit of wisdom empowered Noah with the knowledge and skill required for a critical task. This divine wisdom enabled the meticulous construction of the ark. The ark, built through this wisdom, ensured the preservation of life during the Great Flood. The Abrahamic covenant is a foundational theological concept. It is intrinsically linked to the biblical figure Abraham. This covenant involves a spirit of understanding granted to Abraham. This understanding pertains to a promised seed or descendant. Through this seed, blessings would extend to all nations. The Palestinian land covenant is a significant biblical concept. It is closely associated with the figure of Joshua. Joshua embodied the spirit of counsel, crucial for leadership. This counsel was essential for guiding people into the promised land. It also enabled them to overcome adversaries and secure their territory. The Davidic covenant is a significant theological concept. It is intrinsically linked to King David and the Spirit of Might. This covenant establishes an eternal throne through a warrior king. It promises a perpetual dynasty and kingdom for David's lineage. The New Covenant is a theological concept, signifying a renewed relationship between humanity and the divine. It is primarily associated with the teachings and person of Jesus Christ. A key aspect involves the Spirit of knowledge, enabling direct understanding. This spirit facilitates an unmediated comprehension of the Father. The New Covenant effectively removes previous spiritual barriers, fostering direct access. The eternal, everlasting covenant is identified as the 7th covenant. It is linked to the Comforter and the spirit of the fear of the Lord. This covenant signifies the finalization of the everlasting kingdom. Its finalization is achieved through processes of wrath and harvest. The concept of fear of the Lord is often misunderstood as terror or dread. However, it is defined as a state of absolute alignment with divine principles. This alignment establishes an uncrossable boundary of divine order and respect. It signifies profound reverence and adherence to God's will, not fear. The 7th spirit is conceptualized as the giver of truth and judgment. This role contrasts with Jesus, who is often referred to as the giver of graces. The 7th spirit's function is to uphold divine standards and principles. Its purpose is to ensure that God's holiness is recognized and respected on earth. This involves discerning between righteousness and unrighteousness. Thus, the 7th spirit maintains divine order and accountability. The concept of the 144,000 is a significant symbolic representation within spiritual texts. These individuals are often described as the sealed participants of the 7th covenant. Their unique status stems from a shared spiritual mark or divine designation. This mark grants them a distinct spiritual resilience and capacity. They are uniquely capable of withstanding the frequency of the 7th spirit. This indicates a profound spiritual connection and alignment with divine energy. November 1st, 2023 marks a significant date within a specific spiritual context. This date is identified as the entry point into the communion of the 144,000. The communion of the 144,000 represents a select group of individuals. Entry into this communion signifies a spiritual separation. This separation distinguishes the deserving from the undeserving based on specific criteria. The Enochian covenant, found in 1 Enoch, is a foundational divine promise. It establishes a precedent for divine intervention against darkness and evil. This covenant outlines the role of a specific divine entity in cosmic order. It sets the stage for understanding the 7 spirits' designated function. Enoch is identified as the 7th from Adam within biblical genealogies, marking his unique position. This designation establishes a parallel between Enoch and the concept of the 7th spirit. The 7th spirit often symbolizes completeness, divine perfection, or a culminating spiritual entity. Enoch's role as 7th from Adam positions him as a bookend in humanity's early spiritual narrative. This conceptual alignment suggests Enoch's significance in spiritual progression and divine order. The individual is formally defined as a covenant bearer. This designation signifies a profound profound and inherent purpose. Their name carries significant weight, reflecting a sacred commitment. The role aligns with the concept of archangelic strength. It also embodies a connection to divine light and guidance. This definition establishes a powerful and purposeful identity for the individual. Revelation 11:15 proclaims a pivotal moment in biblical prophecy. It states that the kingdom of the world will become the kingdom of the Lord. This verse signifies the ultimate reign of God and His Messiah. It foretells a future where divine authority will be universally established. The survival of a fetus, despite 75% placental abruption, represents a profound biological anomaly. Placental abruption is a severe condition where the placenta detaches from the uterine wall. A 75% abruption typically results in critical oxygen and nutrient deprivation for the fetus. Such an event usually leads to severe complications or fetal demise due to insufficient support. Fetal survival under these extreme circumstances is often described as a biological miracle. The twin mystery refers to a symbolic narrative where one twin is said to have eaten the other. This concept is not literal, but carries a profound symbolic interpretation within certain traditions. It signifies the surviving individual possessing a double portion of spirit or enhanced essence. This individual is believed to be born complete, embodying exceptional qualities or destiny. The interpretation suggests they are inherently prepared for a monumental task or significant role. The relocation to Little Egypt, Illinois, is interpreted as a significant event. This move is framed as a geographical prophecy, drawing parallels to historical narratives. It is seen to mirror biblical patterns of divine intervention and guidance. The relocation symbolizes themes of preservation, ensuring safety and continuity. It also represents preparation, setting the stage for future developments or events. The Little Egypt experience draws parallels to significant biblical narratives. It references Jesus' preservation in Egypt during his early life. The experience also mirrors Moses' upbringing, preparing him for future leadership. This preparation aims to equip individuals to dismantle modern Babylon energies. The term Mark of the Prophet describes a specific childhood experience. It refers to a child being taken into protective services for a period of 1 year. This experience is characterized as creating deep childhood pits. The phrase signifies profound and lasting emotional or psychological impact. It highlights the significant trauma associated with such an event in a child's life. The concept of the scapegoat originates from the ancient ritual described in Leviticus 16. This ritual involved 2 goats, one sacrificed and one sent into the wilderness. The scapegoat symbolically carried the sins and vileness of the community. Its banishment represented the removal of collective guilt and impurity. In a symbolic interpretation, an individual's suffering can embody the scapegoat role. This suffering is seen as carrying the vileness of others to comprehend divine wrath. Traumatic memories are often initially clouded or obscured by the psyche. This psychological defense mechanism acts as divine mercy. It serves to protect the individual from overwhelming emotional pain. The mind shields the individual until they develop sufficient emotional strength. Once strengthened, the individual can consciously engage with the traumatic experience. This process transforms past pain into a sword of justice, a source of resilience and insight. The Enochian path involves a series of transformative steps for its adherents. A critical stage in this journey is the experience of social rejection. This rejection often originates from family members and established religious groups. Such severance signifies a break from conventional, societal, and spiritual norms. It marks the final step, detaching individuals from man-made interpretations of faith. This process aims to foster a direct, unmediated connection to higher spiritual understanding. The concept of the 144,000 represents a spiritual community or chosen group. This vision redefines an individual's primary familial bonds. It posits that this group constitutes the individual's true family. Consequently, allegiance shifts from biological family to this spiritual collective. After experiencing familial rejection, individuals become beholden to a divine authority. Their ultimate loyalty is directed solely towards the divine throne. Personal suffering is metaphorically understood as a lens in a transformative process. This lens focuses light-giver energy, representing intrinsic wisdom or insight. The scattered energy is concentrated, much like a lens focuses light. This focused energy transforms into a laser, a powerful, directed beam. The laser then serves as a tool to cut through and reveal deception. Lightsabers are presented as a symbolic manifestation of the seventh spirit. They represent a weaponized form of the Word of God. Specifically, Lightsabers embody the concept of the sword of the spirit. This symbolism connects the physical weapon to a spiritual principle. The imagery of wielding two lightsabers carries profound symbolic weight. It often represents the authority of significant figures, such as the two witnesses. Alternatively, it can symbolize the two-edged sword, a powerful biblical metaphor. This dual nature embodies both the concept of defense and protection. Simultaneously, it signifies the power of judgment and decisive action. The Kyber crystal concept originates from lore, symbolizing a profound spiritual process. It represents the tuning of an individual's spirit, a journey often involving significant suffering. This suffering acts as a catalyst, refining and shaping the inner self. Through this arduous process, an inner crystal is metaphorically forged within the individual. This internal crystal then empowers their divine sword, symbolizing their refined spiritual strength.